and she might wish the hell I'd never been up.
1, and in comes the 2 to the 3, and
Listen to the words that the warrior's speaking.
3.
Oh, that's great.
That's what that is.
So
It is what it is.
yeah.
All right. Well, looks like there's a man. I don't know. I'm still alive in the survivor pool. There's like 11,000 people left.
Are you really? That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive, man. Week 9. That's not easy to do at all.
I picked Atlanta this week. They better not pooch.
That's going to be a tough one. Washington's D is looking really good.
Oh gosh, I hope Atlanta's offense is just a little bit better. All right, well let's go. I guess we'll start with quarterbacks.
No, real quick.
Yeah.
No weather. Weather's good this week. Injuries. There's not a ton out there injury-wise to worry about. Cooper Kupp's coming back. That's a big one. Yeah, I don't have much. I really don't. I mean, we found out Geronimo Allison's out. That's the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Today, Kamara's playing. There's a lot of guys questionable. You're going to have to look Sunday morning. Melvin Gordon, Alex Collins. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys questionable. Dalvin Cook's going to only play he's going to be on a snap count. Kind of screws up Latavius Murray, but at the same time, it might be a good leverage play in GPPs.
I didn't even see that Cook was playing. When did you read that?
Today, they announced that he's going to play 15 to 20 snaps at most.
Oh.
So let's see. Allen Robinson's questionable. Khalil Mack's questionable. I mean, there's a ton of guys that are questionable this week. Royce Freeman's questionable, which really could affect.
Yeah, but
Phillip
not
Lindsay.
80% of them are questionable and going to play.
Yeah, it's Diggs said he's going to play. The coaching staff didn't seem so confident, but he said he was absolutely going to play. Yeah, Kenny Stills is questionable. There's a ton of questionable guys. Both the receivers for the Jets, and Nunwa and Anderson, are questionable.
I don't think it even matters.
Yeah, I don't think it matters either. I'm with you there. So yeah, we can kind of skip that section this week. There's not a ton of news and to really go over. Nothing that's major. That's slate breaking. That's going.
How about Golden Tate, man? Going to Philadelphia. Why Baltimore? Why? Why couldn't you get him?
I like that move. I like that move for Philly.
So
It's definitely gonna take any in season long. If you have Aguilar on your team, just drop him.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to do that tonight.
I think everybody's going to suffer with that move. I think, Ertz is going to suffer. I think Jeffrey's going to suffer. The running backs are going to suffer. I think the whole team suffers because you do.
Well, when spreads it around as it is, so you're probably right.
He's never had a Tate before.
Yeah, you're right.
He's never had a Tate, and getting a Tate is like getting an Edelman.
Well, they tried this year. That's why you've seen Aguilar's numbers go down a lot this year. They tried to get him into that short passing slot kind of guy this year, and he just can't do it. He's one of those all or nothing kind of guys. He's just got to break it down the field. They really tried. They forced him in there the first few weeks of the season. He's not built for it.
No, well, you got to have hands, and you got to be able to run routes. And you got to be on the same page as your quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the big thing is a lot of timing.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go over quarterbacks, man. Look, it's real simple for me. I mean, there's Mahomes, who's going to get you 4 to 5 touchdowns. There's Newton, who's probably going to have a big day. There's Cousins. There's Wilson. Goff. And what about Fitzpatrick, man?
I really like Fitzpatrick this week. That game could end up shooting out, and I don't know. I got him under 10% owned, so he's kind of a good leverage play in GPPs. He's cheap enough to play in cash too. He definitely gives you some breathing room there. I do like Fitzpatrick a lot.
Yeah, which would also mean you like Evans. Mike Evans and OJ.
Not as much. Evans is when Fitzpatrick's in there, Evans is his target count has gone way down. I don't know if that's just a fluke or if that's viable, but Fitzpatrick kind of spreads the ball around quite a bit. So
yeah, but last week he hit him on a big bomb.
Yeah. I'm glad Fitzmagic's back. I think the league is better with Fitzmagic in it.
Until he throws 4 picks.
Well, that's all right too, because at least there's something to talk about then.
Yeah.
Anything's better than watching Jameis suffer through it. It's just that was just hard to watch, man.
Yeah, golf going against the Saints. I mean,
that game, it was 60. I just checked it just a minute ago. It's down to 58.5, which is still ridiculous. Like a 57-point total has only happened like a few times in the last few years. 60 is just off the wall. That's going to be the most popular game that everyone's going to stack. It's going to be Goff and Breeze. But outside of Cam, I think Cam's going to get a lot of ownership this week.
Yeah, which would mean McCaffrey too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cam and then DJ Moore. Cam to DJ Moore is going to be like it's going to be the low price stack that everybody plays because DJ Moore is really underpriced this week and Cam is only 6,600. So it kind of makes it fits good for cash, especially. We'll see what happens there. I like Breeze a lot this week. I'm a little nervous on this one. I'm going to play some GPP. I'm going to build some Phillip Rivers stacks against Seattle. I hate playing against Seattle, but I also just feel like Rivers, this could be set up for a good spot for him. Keenan Allen's been really quiet, and I just feel like his time's got to come eventually.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I agree with everything you said there. Cousins, Cam, Jared Goff, Mahomes, they're all viable plays this week. Goff, I think Goff might be right up there with Cam in ownership because of his price. I mean, they didn't raise it after last week. He's still only 6K.
I know.
So and they're going into New Orleans, which is, if you know anything about the Superdome, it's where the most fantasy points are scored almost every time that it's played there. It's indoor. The turf's really fast. It's Drew Brees at home is like a whole different thing, whether you believe in home or road splits or not. There's just some guys, you look at the history of their career, Roethlisberger's another one. They play better at home. I don't know what it is, if they're deflating footballs or if they're watering the sidelines. One of the Cleveland radio guys talked about how the Patriots used to water the opponent's sidelines during the game. I forget exactly why he said it. It was funny. He talked about it once and then never brought it up again. And I always look for the clip on our one of our like archives, and I've never been able to find it. But the cheating Patriots do things like that at home. Plus, they play in the worst division on earth. But anyway, yeah. So we're pretty much on the same page there.
You got an injury update on Carson for Seattle?
He is questionable. He is going to play. Actually, it just came out a little bit ago. Hip injury. They said he's going to play. So.
All right. Well, that's all I got for quarterbacks, man.
Me too. Yeah, it's easy enough. I feel like we were talking about this off the air. This week is kind of straightforward. The matchups kind of fit nice, and the top guys are going to just seem like they're going to be the top guys this week. But that inevitably, that's the week where everything goes haywire every year. Whatever it feels like, whatever you're feeling really good about all your plays in the slate is the week that none of those plays work out. So, you want to move on to running backs?
Yeah, I'm in. Just this week's going to be like the easiest week for me to pick because I'm so solid on certain. There's certain players I'm just keen on, and it's not many of them. I mean, I only got 5 or 6 running backs here that I figure on using. I mean, what Gurley's going to do. It's just fitting him in your lineup at 9,500.
I don't know why they lowered his price this week. He was 9,800 the last 2 weeks, and then they lowered his price again this week, which is odd. He scored 35 points last week.
Well, he averages 30 points.
It's insane.
It's like, so I don't know. Maybe it's because of his usage last week was a little bit down because of his price. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Maybe.
I did have Latavius Murray, but you just gave me an update on Dalvin Cook, and I'm not throwing them dice. Even 10 carries is enough to get me far away from.
Yeah, and you know what? My thought is everyone's going to do that, so I may actually play some Latavius just to gain some leverage on the field, because if he goes off, no one's going to own him now that that everyone knows that Cook's gonna
Yeah.
dig into his shares. So
I like Adrian Peterson, man.
That is the one I should have talked about. They did announce that today. Chris Thompson is out. He's not playing Sunday.
Well, I like him anyway because look who they're playing against.
Yeah, Atlanta.
I hope they don't beat Atlanta, but if it's 33-30, I'm good with that.
Well, that's how Washington's won this year. Good defense and running. That's it. That's been the recipe for success for them. And we all know this Atlanta team can't stop the run, and they can't stop pass catches to running backs, this would have been a great spot for Thompson this week, but he's out, so Peterson's going to probably get all the carries. Capri Bibbs might get a little bit of work, but he's not really a viable fantasy option.
I saw Peterson catching though.
He did. He had a receiving touchdown last week.
Yeah, it was a big one too.
It
wasn't like a short one.
I was all over him last week. He was one of the reasons I did well last week. I was on James Conner last week too. I'm off James Conner this week.
Yeah, me too.
Baltimore, man, their defense is just looking stout, really stout, and I'm afraid to play any of the Steelers, to be honest.
They're
priced, they're expensive, and they're playing against a good defense. It screams to me that to fade them. But I also at the same time think a lot of people are probably going to fade them. So in GPPs, it might be worth it to look into them, but I don't know if I'm going to. I kind of feel like I'm not.
I'm staying far away from that game. Baltimore's defense represents.
So I'll tell you one I really like this week. He's priced down too low is the Browns running back Nick Chubb. Kansas City has not been good against the run, and with the coach, with everybody getting fired this week, and the defensive coordinator Greg Williams, he's a freaking lunatic. By the way, I never knew it because he never really had to say much. But if you get a chance, go back and watch some of his press conferences this week if you want a good laugh. He's an interesting character. He's kind of psycho, to be honest. But anyway, he's a head coach now. So, usually if a defensive coordinator takes over as head coach, you kind of think they're probably going to lean more to the defensive side, the more running and stopping the opposing team, keeping the offense on the field for longer. So I could see Chubb getting a lot of work this week. I do have him projected pretty high ownership, probably plus 15%, 15 to 20, maybe even more in that range, just because his price is so low. Good pivot off of him might be Peyton Barber. The other running back for Tampa Bay has been ruled out. So the only other running back they have is Jaquez Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm putting Peyton Barber and everything.
So I like Peyton Barber this week.
Yeah, 3,600. He's going in everything.
Yeah, he's cheap. His projections aren't great, but at the same time, he's going to be really low owned. And
I saw like 5%. So even if it goes
less, yeah.
Even if it somehow goes to 8, I'm fine with that.
Yep. Well, I'm right with you with Peterson. I think this sets up well for him this week.
Yeah.
The other one
Carson. I like Carson too, dude.
Carson's another good one. He's going to be pretty high owned too, 15 to 20%. The ownership's all going to concentrate around a few of these guys this week. Phillip Lindsay is probably going to be another one that's going to have a lot of ownership at 5,500. He is. They're not sure if Freeman's going to play yet, so he's a game time decision. If Freeman doesn't play, I expect Lindsay's ownership to go up to get a bump. So I have him at like 10 to 15% right now. So what I really like this week, and I'm surprised, but I've seen others in the industry that share this sentiment, is Alvin Kamara. He's going to be pretty high owned this week. I got him like 25+%. The reason being is he's only 7,300. And he's still getting a ton of touches, even with Ingram there. I mean, he had 13 carries last week, even 13 carries and 8 targets. So he got, what is that, 21 touches last week still. The thing is about them is they haven't been throwing the ball at all. I mean,
he's not going to, dude. That's why I'm not trusting anybody for
they might have to this week, and that's why I'm torn on this game.
Why? Why did they have?
Because they might be down by 3 touchdowns after the first quarter with the way the Rams have been playing. I mean, they may have no choice but to have Brees.
I don't know.
Come back and chucking it.
New Orleans I mean, they gave us a little sniff of this last year when they had Ingram and Kamara healthy. And Breeze slows down, and he's going to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could see it. I could see that game script going both ways. That's why I'm like, I know that game's going to be the most game that everyone plays. People are going to stack it. They're going to create onslaughts either way. You're going to see a lot of ownership concentrated in that New Orleans Rams game. I just don't know how the game's going to play out. I've been looking at the different scenarios.
I'm fading it because I might be wrong, but I'm fading the whole thing. I think Gurley's like the only one I want. Talking about that game now, also injury update. Kupp says he's playing. So
yes, Kupp is back. I'm going to be on Kupp this week. I don't think anyone's going to play him because he's just coming back from injury, and Woods has just been so good. And everyone's going to gravitate towards Gurley and Woods, and I think it's going to leave Kupp with smarter. Kupp actually has the best matchup in that game as well. He's going to avoid the really good corner for New Orleans. The other corner for New Orleans that will match up against Kupp is he's like one of the worst rated in the league.
Kupp's the best wide receiver on that team. I hate to tell you that.
I think so too, man. I think him and Goff have the most chemistry as well. I just think.
Yeah, and Woods is look, if Woods doesn't have a 42-yard catch, he's not going over 100 yards.
I can't believe the Bills got rid of him. The Bills are so bad. I don't know who's worse, the Bills or the Raiders. After watching that game last night,
I don't know.
That was tragic last night.
Detroit did not look too good either, buddy. Detroit's defense looked like just as bad as Tampa Bay's. It was just not a good situation. But yeah, I'm very selective this week. It's pretty simple for me. It's Peterson, Carson, Barber, Gurley, and Hunt. Kareem Hunt.
You mentioned McCaffrey earlier too when we were.
Yeah, but I'm not. I know his ownership's going to be crazy.
I got about 15% right now,
and I think it'd be higher than that time Sunday comes.
It might be. I didn't check FanShare today to see where his tags are.
It will be. Everybody's foaming at the mouth over this game. Tampa Bay's defense is total dirt.
Oh, they're the worst. They really are. They're the worst.
And it's not like Carolina has a true number one wide receiver because they don't.
No, they really don't. I mean, it's probably Olsen, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's he's a tight end.
So I tell you who I like this week that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
the Browns D's been decent, but man, they've been terrible against running backs. Look at James Conner's stats the last both two games that the Steelers played them this year. It's just it's ugly. And that game that game has sneaky shootout potential. Baker Mayfield might be a tournament play for me. I may actually create some game stacks of that game where Mayfield starts instead of Mahomes. So that game's interesting. I'm excited to watch. I don't think the Browns are going to win by any means, but I'm excited to watch and see what Greg Williams has up his sleeve to try to slow down the Kansas City offense.
I actually feel bad for Cleveland this week.
I don't know, man. Tyreek Hill's going up against our rookie corner, who has been just shut down, and he runs like he can keep up with Hill, and Hill's might be injured too.
Who's going to keep up with Sammy Watkins? Who's going to
that's exactly what's going to
keep up with Kelsey.
That's exactly what's going to happen this week. I think those normal shares that go to Hill are either going to go to Watkins, Kelsey, or Hunt. So I'm actually on all three of those guys. Watkins, I think it's going to be pretty high owned, but yeah, like we said, it's kind of a more obvious week this week, at least on paper, on what the right plays are. We've pretty much talked about all of them so far. We've hit on everyone that I had. You and I usually aren't in agreement with the guys we're playing right off the rip, but this week we've been like exacts so far, and that just kind of to show you everyone's gonna kind of gravitate the same way.
Plus, I know that. I mean, like I said, I may be wrong, but I know where everybody's going. Everybody's going to New Orleans and St. Louis. That's the game. Everybody's going there, and everybody's going to go for Carolina. And
well, you can't not go there. It's a 60-point Vegas total. I mean, that's
it's two high-scoring offenses, and it's at New Orleans, so it's like
Yeah, it's in the Superdome. So yeah, you're just asking for points. So, all right, you want to move on to receivers?
Yeah, I got I love Minnesota Thielens and Diggs, and I gotta believe in this guy now, man. This guy is good, Thielen.
He really is, man. He's something else. He is something else.
Yeah, I got Mike Evans. I know you're partial to Mike Evans. Yeah, I'm about sick of Julio Jones, so I don't like. I'm probably that dude. That's it. That's it. I'm telling you, it's these three wide receivers. It's going to be three wide receivers. They're either going to do me good or do me bad. And there's a couple more that I just don't trust Detroit against Minnesota, man. Is Peterson out for Minnesota? Not Peterson, Arthur Rhodes. Xavier Rhodes.
I don't.
Because I know he got injured last week. I watched him walk off the field.
He is questionable for Sunday.
That's going to be a big key right there. They got Marvin Jones now and Kenny Galladay. So that's going to be a big thing.
Yeah, and the thing is that you got to remember is this pricing is decided on usually the Sunday night for the following week. So a lot of these trades and things, the pricing hasn't been factored in. So both Jones and Galladay are probably underpriced for what they should be priced this week without Tate there stealing some of their targets. So I like Jones and Galladay a lot this week. I like Michael Thomas. The one guy who's going to be like the super chalk who I probably would recommend in cash is Denver's receiver Cortland Sutton. With Thomas getting traded, he's going to basically move into Thomas's slot and take all of his shares, and Emmanuel Sanders will probably get some of those as well. But I got him at like 40% ownership this week.
Hey, I'm just not sold on my quarter. I think the problem's the quarterback.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And
I think you're right. Houston's D, they're going to put pressure. They're going to be applying pressure all game. They're healthy. They've been playing good the last couple weeks, so I think you might be right there. That might be a good fade spot. It's going to be a high-owned spot, that's for sure. Both those guys, Sanders and Sutton, are both going to be really high-owned.
Now, I've been touting Doug Baldwin for about 2 weeks now, and I've realized that Tyler Lockett's the one to have there.
I'm off the Seattle guys. I can't handle Russell Wilson throwing 20 passes and having 5 touchdowns on 20 passes anymore. I just can't. It drives me nuts. Tyler Lockett's getting freaking 4 catches a game and a touchdown every week. And it's just so tilting when it happens.
I love it.
I tell you who I like this week is one of the New Orleans guys that I think is going to be less owned. Like Michael Thomas is going to take massive ownership. I think Traquan Smith. He's going to be my 4-target hope this week that he could, get his 4 catches and break one for 80 yards and a touchdown. So I'm going to be playing a lot of Traquan Smith this week. I really do like him.
I like the slot guys more than I like Ridley. I like the slot. I like Gabriel. Not Gabriel, Sanu. And he's not a slot guy, but I like Sanu. I know that, they're going to do something about Julio. I like Deshaun Jackson. Fitzmagic in there. You got to like Deshaun Jackson. And
I like Godwin too for Tampa Bay. So I'll be stacking that Tampa Bay game up as well. And some of my game stacks that I build.
And I think I'm gonna have this guy in all my lineups. And it's Devante Parker, man.
He just scares me. They could just bench him at any time, whether they have any receivers or not. They've already made the point that they don't like him. Gase just doesn't like him. I can't think of any other reason why he hasn't played all year. If you watched that Monday night game, he was clearly the best player on the field. And he was good last year, and they literally haven't played. He's basically dressed and not played all year until they were pigeonholed into playing him because they literally didn't have any other receivers left on the roster last week. And that's so tilting because the dude's good. He just got on the wrong side of that coach. I don't know what he did, but man, he had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 135 yards last week. So and he played 66 out of 66 snaps. The week before, he played 4 out of 78, and the week before that, he played 33. So it's like, I don't know what is going on with him, but I can't trust that situation where that coach is just a wild card and just might not play him just to make a point. I don't know. I like Cooper Kupp this week.
So yeah, I like Cooper Kupp, but you never know, man. That's the only problem with these games. You really don't know. You don't know when they have so many offensive pieces. You just have no clue. And then when you factor in they got the best running back in football, pass catching, also.
You know, one of the ways you can get exposure to all of that is to play golf with Gurley, because if you play golf and Gurley, you're basically getting a piece of all the possible touchdowns for the team. And it's one of those stacks that people don't usually play a quarterback running back stack. It's just not, it's very uncommon. So you can kind of set yourself apart that way. I like to do that. I'm going to actually have a couple of those this week too. I like Jarvis Landry a lot this week. He's on Josh Hermsmeyer's buy low air yards model this week. He was like number 1. He's got the most target share of any receiver like in the league. Landry does. And that just sets up for a spot where the Browns are going to be down. They're going to have to be playing catch up. So it kind of sets up for a good spot for him.
Yeah, is Njoku hurt?
He's in the injury report today.
Oh no, he was earlier when I looked. It doesn't look good either. Plus, I think he only had like 2 targets last week or something.
He had 0. He had 0 points last week. I don't think he had any targets last week, to be honest.
I thought he had like 2. But either way, man, I'm not. Jarvis Landry's done. I'm sick of him. I like him. He catches the ball. He gets a lot of targets. But if you want to keep getting, 12 receptions and 60 yards.
Yeah, he's not a yak guy anymore.
No.
Those old bones don't get off the field as fast as they used to, but I still like him. I'm gonna tell you one guy I'm gonna play a lot of this week, and that's Julio. I hate saying this because I know I've said Julio like every time he's played this year, and he always lets us down. But this is the week. Julio's 5. He's gonna be like 5% owned. Everyone's done with Julio. Everyone's written him off. Everybody hates Julio. There's so many better spots this week. Guess what Julio does every year? He freaking trolls everybody. This is the week where he goes for 200 yards and gets in the end zone twice. And everyone's kicking themselves for why didn't I play Julio? And he's playing against a good defense, which for some reason Julio always seems excelled. The better the defense he's playing, the better he plays.
Yeah, but they're not in a dome. That's the only thing I don't like.
No, they're in Washington, so they are on the road. So yeah, it may fail, but I'm going to be on that just because his ownership's going to be so low, for sure. So one other one that I like, I'll give you one more kind of a flyer, GPP guy, and you're going to roll your eyes on this one, is Michael Crabtree against Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh gives up, man. They give up a lot of yards to those underneath guys, and I just feel like this sets up for a good game for Crabtree. He like ranks really high in all my models, and I couldn't figure out why until I started looking at the numbers and seeing how bad Pittsburgh is really against guys that are very similar to him all year long. I'm going to have a bunch of Crabtree this week. I don't think anyone's going to play him. He's another one of my GPP plays this week.
Yeah, I think I'm on the other side of the ball. I'm on John Brown.
I might get some Brown in there too. So notice I did not mention Joe Flacco this week.
I guess you didn't. I tried to tell you. You don't want to listen.
Then you know what's going to happen. This is the week where he goes wacko, and I don't have any of them.
It could be. So that game could be literally a shootout.
You're right. That game could shoot. What's the total on that game? Let me look. It is 47.5. So it's surprisingly low. 47. The live is 47. So yeah, that's actually one of the lower totals of the week. Kind of surprising, actually. It's just because Baltimore's D is so good that even Vegas is giving them a ton of credit now, even against the Steelers offense, which is pretty potent.
You know who's good defense?
The Bears.
Buffalo.
But yeah, they are. You're right. You're right.
Every time they play a good team, they just They hold them. I mean, look, I know they lost. What was it, 27-3 or whatever it was?
Just 6 or 9. I think
But
they had
there
3
was like
field goals.
29 field goals in that game. Well, it was 29 field goals, but did you see how many field goals got kicked? New England kicked like, I don't know, 5 field goals or something like that.
Yeah, that game was not. I did not enjoy watching that game. The only part of that game I enjoyed was watching all the tweets about the dildos getting thrown on the field because that just cracks me up. I never knew this. That's a thing in Buffalo only when Tom Brady comes to town.
I didn't know that either. That's great. Dildos for Brady. Oh my God.
Yeah, it made me laugh. I never knew that was a thing until this year. I guess I didn't pay attention, but they've been doing it for years, I guess.
They don't show that on TV, dude. That's
no, they don't at all. They don't show it on TV.
No, they're like, they zoom, they take the camera like, whoop, look at the sky. It's a nice sun here in Buffalo. The pregame is probably not even done on the field.
They were showing
it's not pregame. After the game, they interview some players. They probably got like a special private section to do that.
They were showing the security guard, one of the field attendants, putting these rubber gloves on to go out and pick it up.
Oh my God! Yeah, I guess so because you don't know what. You know what I mean?
One of the lady from Fox Sports that has a show on there. She said, "You got to think about this. You're only allowed to bring clear bags into an NFL game. So where are you putting this thing to sneak it in?"
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's true. And I don't know. I'm sure that somebody told security, look, no dildos. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you think that they'd tell the people taking the tickets, they searched, at least I'm assuming they do it stadium wide. They search your bag. They look in there, and they have a stick and they move things around and they look in there. I mean, I would think they would say, look, nobody can bring in adult contraband.
Right.
I don't know if I'm allowed.
I'm sure they sneak in.
Yeah,
you are actually, funny enough. You're actually allowed to say that on the radio and TV. Like it's not one of the bad words.
Okay, so you're right. Where are they putting these dildos to bring them in the stadium? What's that guy walking funny?
Only in Buffalo. That's all I know. Only in Buffalo. Those Buffalo fans are nuts, man. They're something else up there. They really are.
I hate Tom Brady, but I'll take a dildo in the yanker, in the arse for him. I hate Tom Brady, but I'll take a dildo in the arse. That's terrible, man.
That's crazy. Buffalo is crazy. You're right. They got nothing. It's like Cleveland. We ain't got nothing better to do up here in the winter except freeze, and get drunk. So that's it.
I mean, you guys, I've never heard of like a million coolers full of beer to open when a team wins a game. You just set aside your beer every year till they win a game. And then everybody wants to get beer. Where the cops are like, oh God.
That's great.
You ready to go to tight ends? I got 2 tight ends, man. I had a really bad time with tight ends.
It's like Kelsey or bust this week. You got to fit him in.
Shot on somebody you brought up last week. I took a shot on him before and he burned me. I don't know, dude. Come on, Jordan Reed.
I'm off Jordan Reed. I'm off that Washington. He's not throwing the ball around enough. I mean, it's just they've just got Alex Smith so limited there. I can't do it anymore. So I tell you who I do like, especially if Diggs ends up not playing, I love Kyle Rudolph this week.
I'm done. Olsen, I'll take Olsen for him.
Olsen could be a good play this week too, and I'm going back to the Njoku because I think he screwed a lot of people last week, and I think that was a fluke. I think it was an anomaly. Kansas City is not good against tight ends either. So yeah, I
like Juice too. Juice has been good to me. OJ.
Yeah. OJ Howard's a good play. I didn't tout Jeff Heuerman last week, and he got in the freaking end zone. It was like the first week of the year. I didn't tout him. I didn't play him either.
I think it was like his only catch.
I know it was, but still, he still got in the end zone. I was still salty about that. So the other one this week is that I like a lot is Austin Hooper. him and Matt Ryan, we talked about this at the very beginning of the year. They're on a different level this year, the two of them. Austin Hooper stayed with Matt Ryan all offseason to work on their chemistry. Stayed at his house, like ate with his family and everything. They've got like this bond now, and it didn't show the first few weeks when we were all over him, and then we kind of got off of him. I don't know, last 3-4 weeks, and of course that's when he started finally blowing up.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna jump back on him now. He's gonna burn me. But he's had he had the last 3 weeks. He only had 4 targets last week against the Giants, or 2 weeks ago against the Giants. But before that, he had 10 and 12 targets. So, and yeah, I do like him quite a bit this week. So I think Njoku's other than Kelsey, because here's the thing with Kelsey, you have to sacrifice like a good receiver to fit Kelsey in, because Kelsey's he's priced up like a number one receiver. He's 6,600. He's way more expensive than any other.
Yeah, that's
slate.
The one lineup I'm going to do. That's going to be this. That's what's going to allow me to have Kelsey and Gurley, throwing some dice on Parker and Barber.
That's what you're gonna have to do. You're right. Yeah, that's a good call though.
Yeah. You don't like Russell Wilson. I like him, man.
He's just not. They're not letting him run. They're running the ball so much, and he's not. There's not enough opportunity, and he's only throwing the ball like 20, 25 times a game. It's crazy. I don't know though. I just have trouble with him. I've never been good at pegging him for when he's going to have his good games. Never. I just resigned to not playing him. So yeah, that's it. That's about it, man. It's like you said. It's pretty straightforward this week.
The defense is terrible, dude. And I did finally pick the wrong defense last week, so I finally got burnt.
Did you? Oh, I don't know, man.
At one point, my defense had 1 point.
I was all over Washington's defense last week, and it paid well. They had a good game, got in the end zone. Oh no, not last week. They didn't get in the end zone, but they had 7. That was with the 7 sacks and 2 interceptions. Was that last week or the week before? That was last week.
I don't know, but this is like the only position I would use the Dolphins defense is this week.
You know what? That's funny you say that. I love the Dolphins defense this week as well. They're going to be one that I'm going to be on.
So that means that I know it's right now, because I've been good with the defenses all year, and you have not picked the same defense as me all year. And this is the only week that we both agree that the Dolphins are in a good position.
Yeah,
there's no wide receiver.
They have no wide receivers. He's been the most turnover-prone quarterback in the whole NFL this year.
And they're home, so it just all makes sense.
The other one that I like, it's obvious they are expensive, so they're a little bit harder to jam in, but is Chicago.
How can you not like him?
Peterman is just, he's proven he's just terrible. And even if Khalil Mack sits, I don't even think it matters.
It doesn't matter.
Buffalo is so bad. They have no weapons. It's just an ugly situation. So
yeah, it's just fitting that $4,100 nut in your line.
That's tough. It really is. So
yeah,
and you know what? You look at that the other way in Buffalo's defense, like you said earlier, it might be worth it to look into against Chicago as your like cheap alternative.
Well, Buffalo's, they've held every team they've played. They got something going on defense.
If they could have just scored last week, they would have been in that game against the Patriots the whole time. They kind of were until the fourth quarter anyway, but they could have really made that a game had they just been able to do anything on offense.
Yeah, I wish these players would say something. Like, I wish, after the game, Tom Brady would say, "Man, I'll tell you what, that defense is pretty good."
Yeah.
I wish somebody who, like, would be, hey, that Buffalo's defense is pretty good, man. One of the better defenses we've faced this year. That's the interview I want to hear. I want to see somebody like Tom Brady or Matt Ryan or somebody that they, good. Didn't they beat Minnesota?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was that game.
Yeah. I want to hear Kirk Cousins come out and say, That defense is pretty good, man. That is like one of the better defenses we've seen. Because they are literally Buffalo's defense. I don't know how, when it happened, where it happened, or what it happened. It baffles me because they're playing these great teams with great offenses, and it's like if they had any kind of talent on Buffalo, I'm sorry, not talent. If they had any kind of threat on that team, if they could score some touchdowns, that man, Tate probably, they'd have some wins right now, that's for sure. I mean, a lot more than what they have. Their problem is they can't score. I mean,
they can't at all.
You can kick field goals and beat them. That's it. I mean, you can literally kick field goals and beat them. They can't move up the field. They can't even match your field goals.
It's bad.
So
it's really
if you
bad.
kick field goals, you can beat them because they can't even move up the field to match your field goals. So it is bad. It's real bad. But if I'm Buffalo, I would keep that defense intact because they have something there. Whatever they did.
The ownership wise for defenses this week, it's a little odd, but I've kind of when I do my ownership predictions, I kind of look at some of the other guys in the industry that do ownership predictions and kind of figure my own thoughts into it. But Denver's defense is going to be really high owned this week against Houston, just because Houston's offensive line is it's Swiss cheese.
Well, nobody can. I mean, let's face it. Most of the time, people just take the cheapest defense on the board.
Yeah, they're 2,300. So,
but you can't do that this week. Nobody in their right mind is going to take Cleveland against Kansas.
No.
And nobody in their right mind is going to take Tampa Bay
or New Orleans,
Carolina, and nobody's going to take Detroit against Minnesota at Minnesota. I mean, then you got the Falcons.
It's tough. Defense is tough to pick this week. It really is. That's why I'm like you. I really like Miami's defense, and I have them under 5% owned too. So,
and I didn't look at this. You just mentioned it. I think you're right. I think the Broncos are going to be probably one of the highest owned defenses on the slate.
Yeah, they are. I think they are too. Price. I think Buffalo might be right up there with them as well.
Yeah, you might be right. You may be right.
They're so cheap.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Miami.
This might be a week to pay up for defense and go a little contrarian and do the opposite.
I am paying up, man. Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, 28 or Chicago at 41.
No, I'm not paying that high.
That's too high.
Yeah, because I can get Devante Parker or Peyton Barber for that much money.
Yeah, good point.
What's Peterson? I don't even think Peterson's $6,000. I mean, Latavius Murray's 5,100. How much is Alvin Cook?
I only have Peterson at about 15% ownership. I didn't Cook. I don't even have any projection for him yet because I don't think he'll be.
I'm not.
Cook will be 1% owned probably.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Cook will probably be like 1% owned, 1 to 2% owned. But no one's going to play him. Well,
that's pretty much it. Let's do some quick things here, and then we'll go and build a lineup in front of everybody, and let it. And we'll go do that. I was on TV for doing an interview for Fox. I'll be on Fox Business Channel doing an interview for New to the Street, Exploring the Block. So that was pretty cool. I did that in New York. I think that I'm going to get it out there a lot more than what we do. We've been doing this for a long time now. And, I think it's important to let everybody know right now, listen, man, it's pretty simple, folks. Why play on draftdaily.com? Let me give you some key reasons. Number one, as an investor of fantasy gold, you gain 18% a month. Okay, if the coin doesn't move, if you buy it right now off the market, or if you buy it on draftdaily.com right now, you're gaining 18% a month if the coin stays right where it's at. Guess what? You make a small investment, $500-600, and buy a masternode, you can afford to lose 18% a month, and you're not losing any money. So it can go down 18%, and you're still even because of your rewards. Now, as an investor, I mean, it's just a win-win situation all the way around. As a fantasy sports player, Chris, I mean, where can you play for free?
Right. And where can you play where, you win and your winnings can compound and basically make you more money, or where you win and the price goes up and then the money you made is worth more the next day when you wake up. So it's like you won even more.
Yeah, it baffles me, and I can't wait till the world. I mean, till this commercial goes out to 140 million viewers, that tune into CNN, Fox Business, and I can't wait because that's my key point here. For investors, I mean, you're gaining 18% on your investment. You invest $500-600 and you're gaining 18% a month, and that's if the coin doesn't move. And, with the rewards you're getting for the master node, even if the coin does move, down a little bit, you lose, you're not going to lose because you're already gaining 18%. So it can actually go down 18%, and then, I try to tell people all the time, look, if the coin does go down, you don't lose until you get out. Okay. You got, the public needs to understand that, I ask you, if you buy Google or Apple or Microsoft, if it goes down 1 week, do you sell it and complain about it or whine about it or have a hissy fissy and go crazy about it? No, you don't, man. You hold it and you'll wait. I mean, you could have held Bitcoin for a year and you'd be rich. You could have held Google. I mean, there's a lot of companies that you could have bought. If you just be patient and hold on, don't. If you're in the look, if you're trying to be a day trader with cryptocurrency, I'm going to tell you, don't. You cannot be a day trader in cryptocurrency. I mean, you could, but I mean, it would really take a lot to do that. So that's what I got to say, man. Fantasy guys, you got to come to draftdaily.com and play, because there's nowhere that will offer you what we offer you. And not only that, you're not going to find a site where you can buy, the crypto right on the site, right on like draftdaily.com within 2 minutes. Okay. You sign up, you whip out your debit credit card, you buy fantasy gold, and you're playing in less than 2 minutes. You're entering contests and everything. So, I mean, come play on draftdaily.com and see why fantasy gold definitely is a cryptocurrency that's going to be awesome in the future. All right, well, let's get down. But, I think, Chris, I don't think that people see that. You know what I mean, man? Mm-hmm. Like somewhere it's getting lost in translation. And I think that we haven't been bringing it to them in an easy enough manner for the public to understand. They're so worried about the blockchain and cryptocurrency. This has nothing to do with the blockchain nor the cryptocurrency. It's simple. You want to play fantasy sports, you go to Draft Daily, you buy it and you play. If you're an investor, it doesn't even have to be crypto. If you're any sort of investor, damn well there's no bank giving you 18% on your money. Okay, you're not going to get them kind of returns from any bank or from anybody for that matter. But somebody like us, so a cryptocurrency. But let's do this. Let me see if I can get this pulled up and share my screen. New York was fun, man. It really was.
I'm really excited to see the TV spot. If you guys join our check out in our Discord, Jason posted a bunch of pictures of the set and stuff today. It looked really cool, so I was really excited to see it. It'll be neat to see.
They're gonna send me a bunch more too.
Good.
Screen share.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll piggyback off what you said about Draft Daily is, and this could change in the future, but right now there's not a lot of like sharks on our site. Sharks, when we say sharks, we mean these guys who literally play DFS professionally. They spend their entire week while the rest of us are actually out working real jobs, sitting in their mom's basement, preparing to play their fantasy lineups. It's all they do all week long. What a life, right? But there's not a lot of those guys are playing on our site yet, which really gives the more, the average player or the noob type of player, it gives you a lot better chance of winning. There's guys in our Discord that started the season knowing nothing about football or how to play fantasy, and with a little help and asking some questions and watching our shows and doing a little bit of their own research, they've been winning money consistently every week. And these guys, and it's one of those things. It's just like in Vegas or anywhere you hit you win, start winning some money. it's a lot of fun, you know. You get that good rush and that good feeling, and you want to play more and you want to win more and you want to, you know, work harder at getting better at it. So it's a great place to start and to really get your feet wet in the daily fantasy and into fantasy sports, because it's like I said, it's not a lot of you have a much better chance of winning on Draft Daily than you do on, like, say, a FanDuel or a DraftKings.
Yeah, and our payouts are a little bit better too.
They're a little bit more level.
I mean,
you know,
look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Draft Daily is DraftKings or FanDuel, because we're not, but we can be, and we will do the best we can to add. I know what Draft Daily is missing. I mean, I know what DraftKings has and FanDuel has. You know, I keep a close eye on my competition, and they're our only competition because we own the crypto space with fantasy sports. So I know what we need, and we're going to work on it. We're going to bring showdowns. We're going to bring all this stuff to draftdaily.com. It's going to take some time, but trust me, it'll be here. We'll have it. You know, we'll have all the stuff that they have. You know, anything you name that seems to, you know, if me and Chris like it, and Mac, you know, if we like something on DraftKings and FanDuel, we all talk. It's not like somebody here is making a decision and saying no. Somebody's saying no, we're not doing that, or yes, we are doing that. We, as a team, we talk about it and we add it or start to add it, or we don't add it. So, you know, we just need some support, and we need. I think right now the public just doesn't understand how easy it is to play on DraftDaily.com. I think that's what's going on, Chris. Is, you know, fantasy guys right now with the crypto, they don't understand how simple it is yet to you know, buy on draftdaily.com and play. As soon as they figure out that the fees are low and the payouts, I mean, look, there's
the rake is a flat fee across all contests. It's way lower than, well, it's way lower than it is at any of the other sites as well. So, and
like you said, it's a high, man. It is literally a high. I mean, you talk about being pumped. How about buying fantasy gold, winning, and then the coin going up, you know, the next day or 2 days later? So I mean, that's a high that, right. I mean, it's like hitting the lottery, man. I mean,
yeah, it really is. It really is.
I love it. But all right, let me kiddo, you got Draft Daily?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see your screen. It looks good.
All right, let's enter this here. All right, let me go here. Okay, I'm signed in. All right, let's see here. We have the night game. So Draft Daily has kickers, and we have the night game.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about Brady and Rodgers.
Yeah, we didn't account. We didn't account for it, but we do have.
That's all right. Game. That actually, so a lot of that game's in play. Actually, that game's got a pretty high.
I know that's what sucks, because now I'm thinking of all the players I want to pick, and I can tell you right now, New England would be everywhere, would be all over. I mean, if I had my way right now, I'd just pick all New England. But
well, let's do it. Let's start with let's stack that game up a little bit.
I mean, Tom Brady for 65.
I want James White. James White's my number one.
How could Tom Brady beat 6,500?
You know what? I was just talking to this with one of my friends today. The pricing algorithms have changed the way they price quarterbacks this year. Last year you used to see guys like Brady and Rodgers at like 7,800, 8,100, like much higher. You're not getting guys over like 7K in them for the most part now for quarterbacks, which is how it should be, because like we've always talked about, quarterbacks, his range of outcomes is very narrow. The best fantasy quarterback and the worst fantasy quarterback point wise, they're not going to usually be too far apart. So, yeah, that's a lot of New England guys. I don't know. I'm taking Edelman out of there. I like Gordon this week because he just this game sets up good for him, actually.
What a defense! I'm having a problem with the defense, man. I mean,
let's play Miami. I really like that Miami play this week.
Let's just get the kicker out of the way. Where's the dome?
Play New Orleans kicker.
All right.
There's Lutz, yeah.
Well, he comes in play now, but I'm all over here. I mean, this is what I would. But what are you thinking? Hooper?
Man, I don't know. I like Hooper this week. There's 4 guys for me: Hooper, Kelsey, Njoku, and Rudolph if Diggs doesn't play.
Well, you tell me, man. I mean,
can we fit Kelsey, man? Because if we can, I'm playing
probably.
Kelsey.
Probably, yeah. Which one are you down with? I keep looking at him for some reason, and please explain to me why. I keep looking at him, but I will not.
Don't do it.
I keep looking at him, and I keep thinking about him, and I'm not going to use him. But gosh, he looks so good right there. Look at this. This is nice, man.
I like Carson this week. I like Chubb too. I'm okay either way there, whichever way you want to go. I know you think you like Carson a bit more, so I'm cool with that.
Not sold on Mr. Chubb. What do we want to do here? What do we got to go cheap? 55, 60.
Okay, what about since we learned that the receiver for Green Bay is going to be out, that right there. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going.
6. Who did you want to add? Kelsey? Oh, we already got him. Okay,
yeah,
we're good, dude. We're good.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll do this for you, but whatever. Can we do that? Let's see. We can, because I think my guy's cheap, dude. That's what we need right there. Dang on it.
Oh, you're a little too high there.
I know, but I want it. Well, I can do this. Hold on.
We don't have to play Julio. We could fit somebody else in there. I'm okay with that. I like Lindsey a lot this week.
Where was Julio? Hold on. Whoops. Julio, where are you at? Where do I have him in here still? I have
you got him in. You got him in.
I wonder what's going on there. Who do you like for wide receiver?
I was receiver.
We tried Julio, but I don't think that's
too much. I like Landry. Why don't we go with Landry? We already put that against the Kelsey stack there and kind of get both sides of that game just in case it shoots out.
Okay.
That leaves us with 55.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't trust this week.
That's going to depend to me on if their pass catching running back is out or not, because he saw a lot of targets last week. He had 70 yards worth of rushing called back because of penalties last week too, which is kind of wild. He had a really good game, and he would have had 70 more yards if not for penalties.
Who?
Lindsey. I think he's really good. I think people underestimate. I think he's going to really be like a good player in this league for years to come if he can stay healthy. Yes,
I just don't think against Houston he's going to be good.
That could be true. Then that very well could be the case.
That team is, as long as you got them two coming at you, it's just, man. It's like
it's scary. That'd be scary.
And then they move. They move him around all the time too. They move Watt around all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like they're Watt digs for your weakness.
We got Deshaun Jackson there. We talked about him earlier as a potential GPP play just because that's another shootout game.
I mean, we can't get him in there? No. Oh, man. Something's giving me problems. I'll tell you what's giving me problems. It's too much. That's what's giving me problems. That right there. Let's do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Now we're talking.
Fitz magic, baby.
What do you want to do here, Adrian?
Ooh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
All right, so there we go.
Nice. Good lineup.
Yep. That's it. That's how simple it is. Enter at draftdaily.com. For those of you who come to play and see this video, look, I'll show you real fast. All you do is sign up. You could hit buy FGC here, or you could hit buy FGC or here. It really doesn't matter. You just hit buy FGC. Oopsie. Whip out your debit card, fill in the information, and buy FGC. It's set up right now, so you 500 FGC, and it will minimum is $25. There you go. 600 FGC is $26. You know, there it is. You want to make that investment I was talking about and get a masternode here. There you go. That's what it costs for a masternode. 10,000 FGC, $436. So there it is, folks. It's that simple, that fast, and that easy. It's literally fill this form out, submit it, you're done. You're buying FGC and you're going here and your balance will show it, and you go to our lobby and you play, man. That's it. Simple. 1, 2, 3. Done. All right, man. Well, that's it. What else we got? Anything else, Chris?
I think that's it, man. I think we, like we said, it was going to be pretty straightforward this week. I think we kind of showed that, and I think we're good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But yeah, just make sure you hit the subscribe button, you know, and you know, me and Chris will help you out all year, and we have been, and we enjoy this, and we both know fantasy sports, and you know, that's key. We're not two guys just chucking stuff up there. You know, we don't win all the time, but we do win. It's, you know,
one last night in the DraftKings showdown mode. Nick Mullins, baby.
Yeah,
next Joe Montana, according to ESPN.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get some. I can't wait till we get some. You know, people finally, you know, figure out and see how awesome this is and everything, because it's going to let us expand and get the showdown modes and all that.
I really like these single game slate games. It's something that's really new to the industry this year. It was actually illegal to only do one game prior to all the law changes and stuff this last year. And it's a lot of fun because it allows you to just focus on that one island game, and kind of it gives you a reason, you know, me yelling at the TV when it's 31-3 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter last night, like it even really mattered, you know?
Yeah. And wait till you see what I have coming. I have a meeting Tuesday this week. Wait till you see what we have coming.
Nice.
It's going to be neat.
I'm excited.
If we can get something worked out, wait till you see what we got coming. It's
nice.
It's going to be
cool. It's always something new.
It is something new. It's something. Yep, it's something. I tell you what it is. It's something that nobody else has.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Well, that's it, man. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hit the subscribe button. We'll be back next Friday, I would assume. If not, it'll definitely be Saturday morning. We'll try to be here Fridays, but thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. And that's it, man. Have a good day, everybody.